Hello and welcome to Nationalsocialism. In my YouTube channel, I report about the lastings from the Holocaust and how it still affects our life today. And I could already report from many places, a few places, and many for different topics. One of them I honestly never heard in school about, or probably one time that was a topic how and where the Holocaust began. Honestly, it is a basic instruction, but what the National Socialists really did to the people, the neighbors, the employers, even the employees, this is not really introduced, but it is the basic introduction when you become knowing of the Holocaust in school. And one thing that probably is beyond our imagination. Why do this report or this um, uh, YouTube channel? Is what happened in the surrounding, or basically in Cologne. Cologne is of course bombed, and many buildings don't exist anymore. But what happened there is that kind of criminality that this is described by the interacting of the National Socialists to the private houses and privacy of the victims of the Holocaust. So I know one example that was anyhow proved. It was proved and judged, and it was a part of the trials when it became examined what they did. And what they did is really awful, and I think really nobody would decide in a group where you can do so many things. You could change the world in a better world. You could start a company, an enterprise. You could produce with thousands of people. You could do something good. But this to event this nightmare, to do it with many people. I think, yeah, I hope so, that all of you agree that you never would do that, or even you never would imagine that. So, what became proved after the ending of bombing and the Second World War, that the houses were anyway not able to recover uh, from the lastings, that there's something missing. Even in this time, there was, of course, a little bit electricity in the houses, but even that, it's not the topic. The houses had no pipes anymore. And as the people tried to recover their lives and houses, and they were cleaning the bombed stones, stapling the bombed stones to recover the homes they needed to face, there's no pipeline. This big invention and theater had a little gap. As they were doing what they can and pretending their need, having nothing but their lives. Never had been such a bad life. Others, no life anymore. They were missing something that was now a source of wealth in this time to rebuild a home. As they pretended their need, they were pleased to recover everything from the ruins to sell. Probably old metal from pipelines like copper would be able to sell to have a little bit money to finance this situation. And then they needed to face. Then they needed to confess, our houses have no pipelines anymore. And this became a position on a bill, and became then uh, known. It was not known before. Already, all those people had died before the others came to the KZ. All were dead. And they didn't tell. And it is one little thing where you see through the face of this people, in this time. And today, when you speak with old people getting 100 years old, and they pretend we had nothing, it was so awful. And you need to face that you need to have two opinions. It's not able to understand. You need to have the opinion of these people because you live together in one world, and you need to have the opinion that it is very egoistic. They report from a situation where they became reborn. Yesterday, they were the evilest devil in the world. Then they had a few days nothing and had a new life in innocent because they had 10 days nothing. Tomorrow I'm good again because I had 10 days nothing. And then you can imagine houses without pipelines. 1 street, 2 street, 4 street, a half city, houses without pipelines. And it's nothing to compare this after you had been all through that. They killed 6 million people. They caused Second World War. It is nothing, but it is a detail of the Holocaust that probably is forgotten more and more. But I think it is a fact, and it's a part of the history. And so you now have the knowledge that they removed from all these houses where the Jewish people lived in the pipelines everywhere. And then, as they were bombed, so the half city empty because all the people were killed, and they were covering so many houses, more than they can. No people there, only the German and the half dead, and houses without pipeline, and became told, this situation you can maybe finance with selling the copper, and later you can recover the pipelines. At first, you should have a roof above your head. And then they examined, and soldiers in the alleys were searching for the pipelines. They were interviewing and checking reports, maps, and analyzed the situation, and needed to face that there's not just one street, that there are a mass of houses missing the pipelines. And in the end of this examination of an awful crime, it was clear. It was a really awful thing that started introduced during the Holocaust there. So it's already getting 10 minutes. So I tell you because I think, wow, it's really, really hard. And they did together. And lately, as they needed to excuse that they could not sell the pipelines to finance together this situation to rebuild the city, happened this. So early in the Holocaust, before the people became deported to KZ, they intoxicated the people in the houses with chlor. The chlor was applied into so many houses, one after one. And the people inside became intoxicated, and this caused something that you lose over your last things in the toilet, the gold in your body. So for maybe a half gram per person, they were intoxicating the whole houses with chlor. The chlor is causing that you have an endocrine collapsing and leaving all your elements or your metals in the toilet. You can maybe get a headache. You would need to drink a lot, and that's what they were doing. Then they killed the people, or they waited until the train came for the KZ. And then the German companies came and were removing all the pipelines. In some cases, they were torturing the people nearly to death, and then they set on high bills and came, so you, we give you to prison. Oh, we take your pipelines. And they removed from the houses the pipelines. In the pipelines, they collected with chemical reaction the gold. So let's say maybe a half gram per person, maybe more. But this is, let's compare with being a slave, mining for gold, a more uh, small price beneath dignity of humans. But it is a part of history, and it shows that it is beyond your imagination. You might think everything can be okay, or now you're in a rich country and you're looking in faces of people who have so much, and why they should do anything to you. They are not gamblers. It's really beyond your imagination. And uh, this thing is still today changing our lives or affecting our lives because it's ruining others. It's ruining the truth and left others behind. It is something maybe forgotten, but it is one thing that is describing the beginning of the Holocaust, how teachers today introduce in school that they started to interfere in their families and houses. So really sad and really, really awful. And I think it's very important that these people always return to this point and remember that they are not better than others and that they don't have a right to live on killing economy, that they never had the right and that they don't have the right. That I think is really important, and I hope that you can imagine with my little help these situations, that you never lose in a situation like that. Bye.